Actually, it's really because I'm ADD and I really want to write novels, but I don't have the attention span for that. I was asked that I'm going to start off with Beautiful Poison. I'm going to read just 2 or 3 poems that I was told I could have a few minutes here. But this is the one that I'm going for. It's called Beautiful Poison. Before I read it, I've got 2 poems in a row that are similar in that they have a little bit of a ominous tone to them. But I want to assure the women in the audience that I really do not have a paranoia about women. So, Beautiful Poison. Moonflower opens to the heavens as daylight is shed from the earth, its name so appropriate, with blooms the color of moonlight. A scent thick and dreamy is dispensed into the night air, sweet and seductive. Can one trust a flower that hides in the light of day, folds into itself like a love note that no one can see, only to spread itself shamelessly at night, welcoming, inviting all to her charms? And I am told that every inch of her is poisonous, not to be trusted. Some call her gypsum weed, and I am reminded of gypsies in the night come to steal away our babies, romantic and mysterious gypsies, gypsies twirling, long pleated skirts opening like flowers to the moonlight. Such a beautiful poison. She sits across from me on the balcony. A full moon frames her face. She smiles an offering as she reaches her wine glass towards my lips. I hesitate, then quickly recover, grab my own glass and tap it to hers. A toast I proclaim. She seems confused and a little bothered. To the moonlight. This next one's called Twist of Her Wrist. Sand plums spilled to the ground in old man Philip's side yard. The plums in various stages of ripeness drop to the ground, roll like marbles to the low end of his yard, edging and bumping their way into deep Bermuda, a tall fescue. Gathering in clusters to talk in hushed tones, they ask, "Are you all right? Am I okay? Are there any bruises?" It is assurance they want. My wife stands at the sink washing sand plums. Hues of red, yellow, and purple bob in the water. Paring knife in hand, she removes imperfections with a twist of her wrist. I enter the kitchen holding 2 ties. Which one works best? She smiles, pointing with the knife. She says, "The one in your left." "Are you sure?" She sighs and smiles again. With startling quickness, she snatches the tie from my right hand, tosses it aside. "Don't be silly." Throwing her arms around me in a tight embrace, I stiffen, feeling the knife's handle between my shoulder blades. And I thought it'd be appropriate to do one. It's Lenten season, and so I thought it'd be. I did a series of poems about Lent, but I'm going to read one of them, and it's called Ash Wednesday. Ash Wednesday. Wednesday was wash day. Great-Grandma Donna poked cotton sheets with a stick into a barrel-shaped washer, the new agitator type Parker got on sale at Shaw's Appliance. She jabbed at one last corner of a pillowcase draped limply over the rim of the washer, like a child uses a stick to flip a dead snake before picking it up. The lid shut, she pushes the button. The machine takes off, straining at the full load. Whir, whir, then shoop, shoop, and finally ka-funk, ka-funk, ka-funk. When the machine fell silent, Donna carried a basket to the yard to hang sheets like sails stretched between 2 masts. At least that is what my 10-year-old mind imagined. I had been to church with my friend Vincent and arrived at Grandma's just as she was placing the final pin on the final sheet. Sheets billowed out from the line. I ran in and out between them, a pirate at sea, until I felt a firm hand yank me back from the poop deck. "Child, what on earth are you doing? You better not dirty my fresh washed sheets." "Arg, unhand me, you scallywag." She let go and I plopped to the ground. She stood over me, legs apart, hands on her hips, and with the sun in my eyes, she could have been Blackbeard. "Child, what's that stuff on your forehead?" I put my hand to my head and remembered, "Oh, just ashes." "What you doing with ashes on your head?" The preacher put it there, said I was Christ's son. Christ's own mess, maybe. Lord don't want you going around all dirty. Come here, child. She pulled me to her and took her hand, gently lifted my chin. She smiled and leaned down and kissed my nose. Then, snatching one of her white linen napkins from the line, she touched it to her tongue and began to wipe the ashes from my forehead. There, she kissed the spot she just wiped clean and said, "Go, child." And the last one is a poem also about my childhood. Find it here. I grew up in northeast Arkansas, in the Delta country, and it was a different time then. This is called That Rhythm Thing. Cecil keeps our yard trim as a sailor's beard, not a blade of grass out of place. With a surveyor's eye, he places poles along the hedgerow, making Grandma's English boxwoods level as poured cement, stretching the length of the drive. He starts early and works through into the heat of the day. I am just a boy. Cecil comes to the back door, hat in hand, like a child asking a favor of a man. "Mr. Joe Eddie's grandson, you suppose I could have me some freshmen?" I go under sink where Grandma keeps the drink, pour comfort from the bottle. I place a cap full in the glass, fill the rest with water. It turns the color of rosy. "That'll do, Mr. Joe Eddie's grandson. Don't need no ice." He tips his head, tosses the drink, and wipes his mouth. It is a litany of motion. 5 drinks into the day, his tools put away, Cecil comes to the door, a final drink to stay the blues away. I being home alone, Cecil points with fingered bone towards ivories lined up in a row. "Mr. Joe Eddie's grandson, I can make that coffin sing. Some folks, they scared of dying, but they ain't got that rhythm thing." Cecil straddles piano bench with one leg north, the other east, to work the pedals to keep the beat. With both hands poised on whitened keys, his long black fingers fill spaces, make dark holes in the music as he begins a slow growl, a low moan. "Ow, ow, ow, Gonna chase those blues." Bowed over the keys, eyes closed, Cecil is there in some sepia-toned place. It seems that with every note, with every chord, Cecil spills more of himself between the keys, as though the music is drinking him one note at a time. With an ear bent to the ivories, listening for the sound of suffering as it leaves his fingertips, Cecil's hand begins to jigger and juke and then to jive into some boogie-woogie style. His huge black hands, like crows, flap the width of the piano as Cecil tosses back his head in rapture. I am just a boy held in time, watching, as Cecil's shoulders sway in time,